So today is A-level results day. It's one of the biggest days in the academic calendar, with thousands of young people across the country discovering what comes next as they prepare for university, apprenticeships and the world of work. Now, earlier this morning, students at Wycombe High School collected their results in person, with the sixth form centre full of excitement, celebration and for some a few nervous moments as well. Now, the school believes there's real value in students sharing this important milestone together and having teachers on hand to celebrate the success and offer advice and support where it's needed. A little earlier this morning, I caught up with Wycombe High School head teacher Nicola Renyard, along with Ashe and Bella, who had literally just opened their A-level results. And at the time of doing this, I had no idea how they had done. So first of all, good morning, everybody. Hello, welcome to Wycombe Sound. Thank you for joining us. Nicola, let me start with you as head teacher. Just paint a bit of a picture as to what's happening right now, because it's early morning. I know we were just talking off air, but it is all still happening where you are, right?
It is, yeah. Just behind where we're sat here is our sixth form centre, and we've got our students who have been arriving on site from 8 a.m. this morning to collect a copy of their A-level results. For many of them, the day starts much earlier than that. For us teachers included as well, I think we have a natural alarm clock on results day. You wake up very early. The nerves sort of start maybe in the few days running up to it as you start, it's getting closer, and that anxiety builds. And for many of our students who have made university offers, there's also a UCAS platform where they're checking to see whether or not they've made their university offer, as well as actually coming into school for their results. So there's lots going on. It's a bit of a fever of emotions and excitement, and what's the outcome of the day going to be and what are the next steps. But it's an exciting time, a nerve-wracking time as well.
In a world where everything is so digital, it's actually nice to have a moment where you all come together in person.
Yeah, it's really important to us because, we work so closely with our students through, what is not just a 2-year journey for many of them. Many of our students have been with us for 7 years by the time they get their A-level results. And, this is the final point at which they step out of school life and take those, bold moves into what comes next. So to be there in person, to be able to celebrate with them, or commiserate if it hasn't all gone entirely their way, and to offer that advice and guidance, and to utilize our experience of doing it year in, year out to help them through this really important day is just a really nice moment. And it's also lovely as well to have friends and family that come along with them. Often the parents come along nervously waiting outside as the students go in, and they're being commanded they must wait outside until the students come out with their results envelopes, and sometimes siblings come along too. So it's a whole family affair collecting your A-level results. So really important to us and our community that we can do it together.
I mentioned just now that we've got Ashe and Bella with you as well. Good morning, girls. And let's start with Ashe, please. And as I said earlier, I have no idea anything about your results. So let's start by saying you've only had your results for a few minutes now. What's going through your mind? How did you do? What subjects did you take? Take me through it this morning.
I'm really, really pleased with myself. I did classics, English and history, and I got 2 A's and a B.
Oh, well done.
Which I'm very proud of. Yeah.
So you're in a good place. Bella, tell me about your story this morning.
So I got triple A in classics, Latin and art with an A-star in my EPQ.
I like the fact that we're on a call here where I can see what you're doing. I love the fact you had to just double check that to make sure that you were giving me the right information.
They've both got them here on their laps, just checking it's real.
No, I wasn't expecting an A in Latin. After one of the exams, I was like, oh, I've definitely got a B. But
isn't it funny sometimes when you do an exam and you think it's gone one way and actually it goes another? What was when you saw that? Who was the first person you wanted to speak to this morning?
Well, my parents and my sister were standing right in front of me. I went, oh, no, Latin!
It really is just such a lovely moment, isn't it, to just celebrate. And Nicola, can I ask you another question as well? You've been you mentioned how many students were there. You've been watching them all morning open their results. What's this moment like for you every year?
It's really special, actually. And I think it's very easy when you work in education to forget that students have these moments just once, because we do it every year. and we see each cohort through. And I think one of the things that myself and my colleagues work very hard to remind ourselves of is just what an important point this is, sort of a milestone really, for our students. And, therefore, we try and treat it as such. And that it's the first time we're doing it, and indeed it is the first time we're doing it with this cohort of students, and every year is different, every set of students are different, they're all heading off to do different things every year. Everyone's story is different, and the 2 years of A-level, I'm sure Ash and Bella will agree, they're challenging because A-levels are difficult, but there are so many other things that present themselves as challenges at this point in your life. It's when lots of people start to learn to drive, the social calendar is, going quite wild, isn't it? And you're trying to balance those. People have jobs, that they're trying to juggle on the side alongside their study. And, all of those things, they're such formative years. And that's why achieving results today is a really big deal. Because it's not just been done, off the back of studying in the classroom for 2 years. It's, studying for that A-levels and, managing all of those other bits of life. So we're really proud of them.
Wow, that's good to hear. Ash, let me ask you another question. I mean, looking back over the last 2 years, what are you other than the grades today, right? What are you most proud of?
That I stuck to it, I think. I actually hadn't considered university at all in the previous years. And I had like a really interesting academic journey. So I'm really glad that I stuck to it. And I'm really glad that I tried so many different things, got involved with so many different things, even like outside of school and with friends and stuff. I grew a lot and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Bella, a question for you. If you could go back and, ask your year 11 self, to give you one bit of advice before starting sixth form, what would you do? What would you say to yourself?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
don't do it.
If you're just talking about exams, maybe start prepping slightly earlier because I feel like you can never do enough.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would say that, right? It's got to be a common theme there. All right, so starting prep a little bit earlier. Oh. Yeah. Nicola, these results don't happen by accident. What do you think makes Wycombe High School's sixth form experience so special?
I think there are many things, but I think first and foremost, it's the relationship between our teachers and our students, and getting that relationship right, and building that trust. Building that excitement and that engagement with learning in the classroom is absolutely foundational to being able to achieve great results. And, that's a part of our culture, is that those relationships are so positive. And, there are many aspects of our sixth form which make it unique. And we really try to build in our students here, opportunities to pursue things they're interested in, to, grow their independence. And, there's sort of nothing that's sniffed at in terms of, I'd like to go off and do this. And, if we've never had that before, then, our staff, work at looking into that and how we can support students to get to where they want to be. We're very proud that the strength of our sixth form's been recognised. It was mentioned specifically in our most recent Ofsted inspection as a beacon of excellence. And I do really believe that those relationships are right at the heart of that. And we do lots of things beyond A levels, and I think they're the things that help shape the young people that leave us at the end of year 13. And Bella mentioned that she did an EPQ, an extended project qualification. Many of our students do the EPQ, essentially free choice, don't you? Over what topic you focus on for that. It's an incredible opportunity to delve into something that you're interested in. But we also have a collaboration with enrichment topics, which we run with John Hampden Grammar School over the road. We have opportunities for Gold Duke of Edinburgh, competitions, extracurriculars. So there's lots, and Ash said got involved in lots and sort of taken opportunities. And I think doing that in the safety of a school environment sets you up really nicely for when you wherever you are next, be it an apprenticeship, the workplace, university setting, and all of those things that you'll then have the opportunity to do when you get to that next stage.
Yeah. Bella, question for you. I mean, it's a bittersweet day in many ways because it's kind of like the start of something new for you guys. What are you going to miss most about school, about Wycombe High School?
I think the routine, like being here for 7 years, like I know exactly where I'm coming, who's in the school. You got used to it, so I'm gonna have to go off and learn everything about Bristol, which is a lot bigger. So yeah, I'm gonna miss like the small community and just knowing everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Although, I'm going to sound really old here. I guess, social media and technology allows you guys to stay in contact a lot more than it did when I was like, I lost contact with so many of my school friends because everyone went off in different directions when I was going through school and uni. And so I guess that's a nice benefit of the world we live in today. Ash, what about you? What's next for you? What has Wycombe High School prepared you for? What's next?
I'm off to Cambridge, which is super exciting. Wycombe High made me feel really safe and secured, I think. I had a lot of help from staff and whatnot, and like a lot of them I'm very attached to, gave them hugs on prom and stuff. So I'm really going to miss that, but I'm really excited to continue doing what I love, because one thing about Wycombe High that I'm really happy about is they've got lots of like diverse subjects like classics that I hadn't had at previous schools, and I didn't consider it would be possible to just do things I like for the rest of my life. But it's like, follow your passion, follow your heart, follow things you want to do. And I'm really proud that I have that and that I'm brave enough to do so. So yeah.
Nicola, can I ask you a question around more generally students who are getting their A-level results today? They're going to be thinking about where to study. What advice in that space would you give, not just in your school, but generally people opening A-level results today?
Yeah, I think lots of the consideration about next steps has happened, ahead of today, and particularly where students have had to make applications for the courses or the workplaces that come next. And I think always, the advice around that is be considered. Really do your research and, check out, is there something specific that's required for you to head in a certain direction? That's very much the case with, more vocational based courses. If you want to become a doctor, then clearly you need to take a medic route, and, similarly for other subjects. But, if you want to study the law, you can take a less direct route by studying a subject like English or history at university or something like that before you then arrive. But there are so many different things out there now. It's almost impossible from a professional working in a school's point of view to advise on everything. So, much like Ash said, we sort of come from a starting point of, encouraging students to explore what they're passionate about, and then supporting them then with the research. I mean, we use a platform here, which I know that many schools use, called Unifrog, which is a great launch pad for sort of containing lots of that information for students to sort of siphon through it and research. And the name sort of is a little bit misleading because it's more than just university courses that are on that platform. But that's a great resource, and many students across different schools have access to that. But it's talking as well, talking to staff in school, making your plans known. So if I were advising students about next steps, it's, don't keep it a secret what you're thinking of. Be brave enough to say, one day I'd like to head in this direction, because it's having those conversations that starts to then open those doors to, okay, how do I plan for this? How do I start to edge closer to it? And sometimes you are blessed to be able to take the most direct route to where you'd like to head. And sometimes, there can be bumps on the road. And for some of our students today, it's not such a happy day as it is for Ash and Bella, who have got their first choices heading off to do what they applied to do. Sometimes, life takes you in a slightly different direction first. And I suppose my message there to students picking up their results in any school is don't let that put you off, because today is just one moment in time. It won't define where you get to in your life. It just slightly directs you off the back of today as to what the next steps are.
Yeah.
But don't let it hold you back. Just take the advice, have the conversations, do your research and, just keep plodding away to head in the direction that you want to head in. Because those opportunities are out there.
I mean, on that point, I'm guessing there will be students across the country who are opening their A-level results today who will just feel that they hadn't quite got where they wanted to get to. And it will probably feel like the end of the world for them at that point in time. And, I guess we talked at the beginning of this around the fact that there is still that community at the schools. And I guess teachers can help, they can listen, they can advise, because there will be students who are going through that right now. And it's got to be a pretty daunting kind of like morning that they're going through, I guess.
Absolutely. And, it is okay to feel upset and, if it hasn't quite gone the way that you hoped it would go, because it is a big day. It is the culmination of, the last 2 years of hard work. And, every student has worked hard for this day. So there is a sadness and there is an anxiety and there is a stress if it hasn't quite gone the way that you hoped or the way that you needed it to go. Feeling those emotions is good and it's fine. But then the important thing is to say, okay, what support do I need now? What can my next steps be? And, who can I speak to in school that's best placed to help me? And I know that every school has a provision set up. I mean, we have our staff here in school. Students can come in throughout the morning if they need to talk to us at all. But every school has some sort of facility, whether it be in person or online, for students to access that help and that support should they need it.
Last question. I'm going to ask you both this, Bella and Ash. I'm going to ask you both this question, which is really around who are you most looking forward to saying thank you to today and why? And I'll leave that with you. Let's go to Bella on that one first, actually.
Sorry, Dad, I'm going to have to say my mum. Because
that's a great answer.
She was the one who would lay in bed and I recite all of my Latin at her. So probably my mum.
Oh, parents go through. They do that stuff. All right. And Ash, what about you?
Probably, this is again, my best friend. I had her on the phone with me when I received my results.
Yeah.
She was there during the entire time I've been here. I came from a different school, so things were different, but she's always been there and she's always been like, I'm here at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I had her because I wouldn't have had the confidence to do anything without her. So yeah.
Well, listen, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to all of you this morning. Congratulations, Ash, Bella, seriously, congratulations. I mean, the last thing you probably wanted to do was to sit here for 15 minutes chatting to us, but it has been delightful. Congratulations, all the best of luck at university and whatever life throws at you and is in front of you. I genuinely wish you all the very best. And Nicola, thank you so much for joining us this morning and all of your advice and guidance. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.